Good to have a special guest in studio with us today. He's the kind of the brain trust and the idea man behind the Big Three, and he's in town to watch it go. He was here back in February, too. One of our sister stations, U92, put on a big old concert downtown, and he was here for that. I was debating on what I wanted to introduce him as because he's got so many hats and titles he wears, but somebody tweeted at me and said, just call him cultural icon. So
that's pretty good.
Are you good with that?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay, Ice Cube's in studio with us. Cultural icon Ice Cube as his Big Three's in town tomorrow night. So how are you? Welcome back to Salt Lake City. Is everything good?
Oh, everything's great, man. It's great to be back. And it's great to be back with a cool event like the Big Three.
So let's walk it back. Where did you come up with the idea for this? Because this is year, 3 or 4?
Year 3.
3 for this.
Yeah. Back in 2016, just brainstorming, like I've always looked at the 3-on-3 game, always liked it.
Right.
I played, 10 times more 3-on-3 than 5-on-5. And I always wondered, they have these like Mountain Dew tournaments and Nike tournaments, but they're all outside, like for weekend warriors, Why isn't it elevated to the pro level? Right. Why isn't it elevated to a level where we're in the arena and we're watching guys play at a high level, 3-on-3 basketball, half court? So started to brainstorm with my partner, Jeff Quantnitz. A lot of arguments, a lot of, up late nights talking about rules, structure, how do we want the league to feel? And so, we just realized we had a very good idea, and, we had to be the spearheads for this and Piper it in.
Whenever you come up with an original idea, as good as the idea might sound, sometimes you've got to sell it. And to get this to go, you've got to sell it to the players because the players are the guys that are going to – you can go sell it to a sponsor or two, but you've got to sell it to the guys that are going to be there. Was it a tough sell to the players to get them to come out in year one?
For some players, yeah.
Yeah.
Some players could see it. They had the vision, and they knew what it could be, and they wanted to be a part of it, All these guys want to hoop. And all these guys play, The guys that's in our league play constantly. They're either playing – some play overseas. Some play, pretty much pickup games against each other in these gyms all around the city that nobody get a chance to see. So, basically, I was saying, look, you guys are still ballers. Let's make it where people can see it and pay for it, and people will come if we do the league right. And we do it professionally, and we adhere to a standard of play. And some bought in. It's like this. Some guys say, Q, oh, man, hell yeah, I'll play. Man, yeah, I'll play. Send me the contract. Send them the contract, never hear from them again.
Crickets.
Yeah. Some guys say, no, man, I don't play, man. I'm good. But then when the deadline is close, they like, hey, Q, where's my contract, man? I thought you wanted me to play. So you really never know until guys sign on the dotted line. Joe Johnson, who's, the ex-Jazz that's coming back and he's going to play tomorrow, he signed 2 days before the deadline. So that lets you know some guys, easy to commit with their mouth, hard to commit with their pen. And other guys, they just want a ball, so they sign right away.
I'm betting, though, in year 3, it was easier to get some of these guys to sign because they've seen it. They've seen you execute it in year 1 and year 2, and it's on TV, and other guys are talking about it. That year 1, it's like it's starting a new business.
Yes.
Just survive year 1 and get it off the ground and pay the bills and get through it. And then once you've seen it, now people have seen it, and now 2 and 3 are got to be easier, right?
Without a doubt. At this point, the product speaks for itself. If I'm still having to be on the phone for 90 minutes convincing people why it's great, then they're not there yet. So, yeah, I don't have to do as much. But, with the major guys, I still jump in there and try to push the program.
Ice Cube in studio with us here on ESPN 700. Big Three coming to town this week. What's your favorite part of this? Now that you've got this thing rolling for a couple of years, Is it just kind of being able to sit back and watch the hoop and the call and the guys interact? I mean, what's for you as a guy that came up with it and created this is your baby now? What's your favorite part of it?
Watching the games.
Yeah.
You know, this is what we put this whole thing for, is to see these guys play and compete at a high level. And you know, it's hard-nosed basketball. It's professional. You know, we didn't ask these guys to play. You know, this is not a celebrity game.
Right.
These guys are getting paid to play. And a lot of these guys made a lot of money in the NBA, but they don't have championships. And in the Big Three, they know they can get a championship. And that gives guys, you know, giving their all, playing their hardest. And they have a lot of legacy on the line. You know, we are on CBS. So, hey, you know, you gotta play like, you know, you gotta kind of prove your name and prove your worth in a way, you know, because a lot of your fans are watching to see if you still got it.
The ego doesn't go away.
No.
You know that, whether it's entertainment in a movie as an actor, whether you're a musician. When you get on the stage, when you get on the screen, when you get on the court, you've got fans there. People know you. They remember you. You don't want to embarrass yourself out there. You want to go out and compete.
Yeah, and that kept a lot of guys from playing. That one thing is like, I don't want to go that hard no more. I don't want to train. I'm done. And if you're done, you know, come sit by me.
Yeah.
You know. But if you're a real baller and you still want to play, you don't want to just retire and get fat, come on to the Big Three. We got a spot for you. Hopefully, you know, it was over 100 guys going for 31 spots. So people are clamoring to be a part of it.
Big Three's at Vivint tomorrow night. You get your tickets at vivintarena.com, and it's 3 games downtown, and a lot of the names that you know and some former Jazz guys you mentioned.
Yeah.
You know, Joe Johnson, Big Al Jefferson's coming back into town, and these are guys that were playing last year professionally. You know, Joe was in the NBA last year. Al was playing overseas. He was with the Pacers in 2018. He was overseas last. These guys are still most of these guys are still playing.
Without a doubt. You know, sometimes you don't retire from the NBA. You just find yourself out of work. You know, you don't even know you're retired. You know, it's just a numbers game sometimes. So these guys are still playing at a high level. It's definitely worth the price of admission to see 7-footers play 3-on-3 basketball. And, hey, you know, 3 games for the price of 1. And those 3 games take place in the same amount of time as 1 NBA game. So, you know, 3 hours in the building and you'll be back doing your thing.
By the way, how excited are you as a Lakers fan? You got
Very.
LeBron last year, our guy Kuzma, who's from up here at the University of Utah, and now AD's in town. It's
looking good. You know, a lot of people were you know, disappointed we didn't get Kawhi, but I mean, we still doing pretty good.
He's in the building.
Yes.
He's just across the hallway.
Yeah, he's in the JV locker room. So, you know, it's going to be exciting to see the Lakers play this year. Got a lot of cool new pieces. You know, Danny Green is going to be great. And let's see. Can't wait to see that Laker. I mean, even the Lakers and the Jazz. I mean, the Jazz looking tough too.
We're going to have to get you back up because when the Lakers come to town, you know, we're out here. There's a lot of L.A. and California transplants here.
Yeah.
Plus, you know, people love to be bandwagoners. I mean, when the Lakers come to town, there's a lot of Laker jerseys in that arena. But this year, and I'm telling you, the Lakers had a good summer. The Clippers had a great summer. The Jazz had an unbelievable summer, too. Mike Conley, Bojan Bogdanovic, Ed Davis, Jeff Green just got introduced downtown today. Plus, Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert are back. They're going to be right there.
I think so. You know, it's a tough Jazz squad. They always get a Lakers fits, so I don't expect this year to be no different.
Even back in the day with Carl and John.
Man, especially back in the day, you know. I remember being swept out the playoffs by the Jazz. And, you know, it's just been a great organization that always has a team that can compete. And it's cool to see.
Ice Cube in studio with us. Curious, where's your sports fandom fall? There's a lot of teams in L.A. I know you're a Laker fan.
Yes.
You were a Raider fan back in the day. You still a Raider fan?
Still a Raider fan.
Vegas Raiders soon.
Yes.
You got the Dodger hat on, so I know you're not an Orange County Angel fan.
No.
So that's kind of where the fan – now, are you an SC College fan?
Yeah. You know, I like SC. Like SC over UCLA, so. Definitely a big fan.
They were just down the street from the neighborhood you grew up in. I'm guessing when you grew up in South Central where you grew up, you guys were USC fans because it was not too far away.
Yeah, I mean, and they had people like Marcus Allen and Charles White, and, we had a great run there,
And Marinovich, who became a Raider.
Exactly. It's been some great SC players.
I got to say, thank you to both the Raiders and USC. I grew up as a Chiefs fan in Kansas City. And for whatever reason, Al Davis decided he didn't want Marcus anymore. So he came on and had that great finish to his career cube with the Chiefs. So thank you for that.
No problem, man,
And Chiefs and Raiders, we'll get along in here for a minute. But, we got Mahomes now, and things are going pretty good in Kansas City.
Pretty good. Had a great season last year. But the Raiders, we don't re-up. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes. Ice Cube in studio with us. How do you divide your time these days? I think, to the point in your life, you are established in the film business, the TV business, the music business. You're now promoting basketball too. How do you kind of divvy up your time, projects? Because those are big areas that you're in. What's your day, your week, your month, your year look like?
Just staying laser focused on what I got. I have a schedule. I look at it, and if it's a music day, I'm laser focused on the music. Movie day, I'm working on that, and sports. So, it seems like I'm doing a lot, but I just take it one day at a time, and I'm not thinking about the other subjects when I'm on. Either music, movies, sports. Just, I think, you got to be the best at what you're doing that day, and everything will fall into place.
I'm kind of not on that level, but I host a radio show that you're on right now. I do play-by-play for the University of Utah. I'm the program director, like your guy Kev is over here, of this radio station. I do the professional soccer team as well. I do some TV work, and people are always asking me, what do you love to do best? What's your favorite thing? I said my favorite thing is I get to do all those things.
Yeah, man. Having the diversity and having the chance to do more than one thing. I started off in music. If I was only doing music all this time, I'd be probably pretty bored with music. But being able to switch to movies, we're doing TV. We got Hip Hop Squares coming back out. And, the sports this is a labor of love. This is, as a fan, to be able to be this close in the mix in a league that's growing. I couldn't ask for a better vantage point, for real.
When you were growing up and music became your thing first, did you have an idea that you wanted to do lots of other things? Or when you were young, music would have been just fine for you?
Man, I was, I wasn't expected to be part of music, just knowing Dr. Dre, he grew up, didn't grow up, but he moved right down the street from me with his cousin Jinx. And, that's my introduction into music. Here go a guy who was doing records, who were, performing, out of state, somebody in the music business. And so him putting me under his wing, I'm extremely grateful. But if he didn't do that, I wouldn't even be a part of music. So, one thing kind of led to another. Opportunities presented themselves, and I jumped on it.
It's weird in your iteration because you and I are about the same age. There was a generation, or there is a generation that came up that knew you as a movie star, and that was it. They knew you from movies and TV and maybe a little bit of sports. How cool was it a few years ago when the movie came out that a whole new generation of people got to learn your story and that your son got to bring that story to him?
Oh, that's crazy. It's I can imagine if I was on a team that won the Super Bowl and then my son played on the same team that won the Super Bowl. That's kind of how it felt in a way, even though I don't know. I ain't never won the damn Super Bowl, but it felt so good to see not only my son get a good part in a good movie, but in a movie about, NWA and our story. It's hard to describe how good it feels because, it could have went the other way. It could have been all bad. It could have been like people writing to my son telling him, keep your day job and just be his son and spend his money, but, stay off the screen. But, he's carved out a pretty good career for himself. So I'm excited.
How much did you have to, or did he educate himself on that? I mean, he grew up at a time where you weren't the NWA Ice Cube. Mm-hmm. So did he know the story, or did you guys have to kind of sit down? Did you educate him on it? Did he do his homework, or did he know it grow? Did you kind of bring him up on that?
I brought him up on it.
Okay.
So he knew all the stories. What he really got from me is the feeling. Like, okay, we're about to do this scene. How did you feel about Easy that day? How did you feel about Ren or Yella or Dre? And so he was getting those kind of insights on how I was feeling more than, having to hear the story out. He had heard the stories,
right?
But now it was putting the detail on top of it. And he did a great job. I couldn't imagine anybody else playing me in that movie.
Well, I don't think any of us could imagine anybody at this point after he did it playing you in that movie either. Who were your musical rap, hip-hop influences coming up? Because you and I are about the same age. I was in college, parts of high school when NWA was hitting. But for me, you grew up in the Midwest. It's not quite the same.
Yeah.
But I grew up with, Run DMC,
yep.
with Curtis Blow, with Kool Moe D,
mm-hmm.
with Beastie Boys when they hit. And those would come through Kansas City, but it wasn't around us all the time. So I had to kind of pull that in from other places. You grew up in an area where it was prevalent on the West Coast. Who were some of your influences?
Big influence, Melly Mel. Big influence, you got KRS-One, Chuck D, Public Enemy, Run DMC.
So you had some of the same ones. I would have figured you probably had some local guys too. There were club scene guys or guys that were more regional that I maybe wouldn't have heard of.
Yeah, I mean, our local guy was Ice-T. He wasn't necessarily a local, but at the time we looked at the East Coast as professionals, and we were locals trying to get to that level. So, a lot of the guys that did the West Coast hip hop, I knew personally. So it was hard to fan out, a little bit. But with the East Coast guys, I didn't really know them at the time. And so we were big fans of their music.
How big an influence was John Singleton on your life as both an actor and now what you're doing now?
Oh, man, he's my mentor. I wouldn't be in this position without John Singleton basically discovering me. I wasn't thinking about acting at all.
Right.
He had met me 2 years before we did Boys in the Hood and told me, I'm going to put you in a movie. I didn't believe him. I thought I wasn't qualified. I hadn't been to any acting schools.
Was that when he was in school at SC studying film? Yeah.
He was still a junior. He said, man, I'm going to put you in a movie. Then I saw him again. He was a senior. He's like, man, I'm a senior now. I'm going to put you in this movie. And then it was real. And as we're working on Boys in the Hood, he looked at me and he said, Cube, when are you going to write a movie? And I'm like, what? What the heck? John, you throwing a lot on me, man. He said, you can write a dope song like that, and I know you can write a good movie. Give it a shot. And he helped me. He helped me, kind of, write my first 2 scripts that were terrible. And then we wrote Friday. I wrote Friday with my guy, DJ Pooh.
Was he honest with you? Was John honest with you on your scripts and things like that and gave you – because that how that is, whether it's music, sports, whatever it is, you need to have somebody that you can go to that's going to tell you straight.
Yeah. He was honest. He was very honest. And that's why I love him, because he helped me become the producer, writer, actor that I am today.
Before I let you go, you grew up in an area that's not only musically, a lot of music came out of, but athletes too. Give me some guys that you grew up with that maybe we would know or heard of, some guys that got out of your area or some guys that you went to high school with or went against in high school that were some names in sports that may have had an influence on you.
I mean, I think the biggest guy was Quincy Watts. And if you remember, he's a big track and field guy in the Olympics. He won some medals. But I remember going to football practice and seeing the Olympic guys come out and watch him run and things like that. So, he's probably the biggest guy. Other guys came a little before me or a little after me. Steve Smith went to my high school. the football Steve Smith that won a ring with the Giants.
Utah also. Oh no, that's Steve. So the Giants Steve Smith, not the Panthers Steve Smith.
Yeah, Steve Smith. So but it was he went with my kids. He didn't go with me. So it's pretty cool. Growing up, hearing about people like Darryl Strawberry and guys like that who are just incredible, straight from the hood, doing it big.
All right, Big Threes this weekend. Tell folks why they need to come out.
Oh man, it's the funnest thing you're gonna do tomorrow in Utah is come see guys go at it, half court 3-on-3. It's a great time. It's a great event, very affordable. You definitely can afford it. Them Jazz tickets kind of high, but you can definitely afford a Big Three ticket and come on out, man. Have some fun. See some basketball with your homeboy Ice Cube. I think you'll love it.
He'll be in town for the games. Some former Jazz guys like Joe Johnson and now Jefferson will be in. And these guys, this is not, like you said, this isn't some celebrity game at the All-Star game. These are guys going at it.
They go hard. And we allow trash talking. We allow hand checking. So it's a fun event.
We need to get you back here for an event again to perform. But we need to get you back here for a Lakers-Jazz game this winter.
Okay, I got you.
And Kevin's got your number. We'll get you back, and we'll do. And then maybe you and I make a little wager on the Jazz and the Lakers.
No problem. I'll take your money.
and by the way, if you see my guy Coos, tell him I said hi.
Will do.
That's Ice Cube, everybody. He'll be down with the Big Three tomorrow at Vivint Smart Home Arena.